What are some of my top tips on ensuring that I have an effective retrospective session? Hello, welcome to the Scrum Chat Room with Dr. Francis Mbunya. And if you're new here, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and also make sure you drop a comment so that I know that you are watching. And if you want me to do a specific topic in my next video, drop it in a comment. I'm going to comment and I'm going to make sure that I do that video. And do not forget to like, share to someone who will also benefit from this video. Now, let's move straight to the point so that you can get to learn a lot in a very short time and in the most simplest way ever. And when we talk about retrospective is an event that occur at the end of every iteration, at the end of every sprint. What's a sprint and an iteration? These are just repeated cycle where the team plan an amount of work and they deliver to the customer. When you deliver something, what happens? You have feedback, right? When you have feedback and you don't take a moment to reflect about it, you probably might be in trouble. But then retrospectives are often very frustrating to Scrum Master. What can we do to ensure that we have effective retrospective? Now, I'm going to give you a couple of tips. Now, the first thing is to start thinking about the retrospective on the first day of your sprint. When you have your sprint planning, that's the most important thing to me. Many Scrum Masters or many Agile coaches wait until when the day of their retrospective is there. They ask the team member, "Oh, John, what are some of the things that went well?" And we're trying to put people on the spot. Now, an average human being doesn't have so much retentive memory because there's a whole lot going on in their mind. Now, you need to be able to help them to think faster. One of the things I do is that I always create a page, and during the week, I call it what my issue tracker. I write out all the issues that comes up within the week and make sure that I'm preparing them for my retrospective. So if I come into the meeting and none of my team member was able to pick that out because they were busy with other stuff, I'm going to say, "Hey, okay, James, last Monday, we had an issue where an external developer actually sent in some work directly to a team member, and that came up and actually distracted our retrospective. And I know that was a great stuff that you step into head. But then this is how an issue like that will not really be a best way to go about it. I highlight the reason why, and then I bring that up for discussion. What's happening? I brought in a very important issue, so we have to talk about that. If not, go to your retrospective, trust me. Developers are behind the camera. They don't like to talk. So you must be able to engage them to put that conversation. Now, my second technique is that I'll advise as much as possible. Never go to your retrospective without an icebreaker. Now, when we talk about icebreaker, many people think about icebreaking like, I need to be able to do a game, I need to be able to do something formal. I can do an icebreaker in less than 30 seconds. Right. I can do an icebreaker in less than 30 seconds. For instance, I can decide to just talk about a happening, right? So let's say that in the past couple of months, we had an earthquake that occurred around the New York area and all of that, right? So let's say it happens that I knew somebody, which is something we actually talk about as well, that was actually there and was in a meeting while that was happening. It's like, "Hey, guys, is there anyone here in the New York area? Trust me, did you kind of witness that earthquake that happened?" That's an icebreaker. I'm kind of getting them out of the stuff, out of their retrospective mode, or I'm getting them out of their comfort zone because they're coming to talk about work. I want to be able to distract them. Now, if you do this and none of your team member actually respond, one of the things that you're missing is that you don't have a good rapport with your team. You need coaching. You need me. Come and let me teach you how to be able to unblock all of that tight scale that's happened between you and your team. It doesn't matter how difficult they are. There's a way you can be able to do that, right? So if that is you, book a 30-minute session and we can talk about that. If you're actually struggling on how to get interviews, how to get your first role, book a session. Sometimes it's not about you. Most often it's because some things you have not done, and sometimes it's just about the mindset. I spoke to someone over the weekend from UK, and just by training their mindset, they were able to get an interview the next week just by changing the way they think. Right. So that's why being part of my team is not just about learning Scrum, it's about learning what you are missing in the whole process. Right. And to get that, you need a free evaluation session to determine if that is a good fit for you. I don't sell programs. I help people get on their best by helping them figuring out, helping them know their responsibility. One of the major reasons why many people have not been able to get jobs, not because they don't know, they're too comfortable. They want people to do it for them, right? We don't do it for you. We teach you how to become your best so that when you talk, they can feel that energy, and that's why they'll offer you the job. Now, that was enough distraction. Back to my conversation. I said, number one, make sure that you have a tracker. Number two, make sure that always come with an icebreaker. Number three, engage everybody, even those who are not talking, engage them. Bring up something that will engage them. One of the way of engaging them is to, sometimes when I look at all of these issues I've been able to track, and like, okay, look, team, I have 5 issues that I was able to track if nobody have any stuff. But then I want to hear from your opinion. Not kind of putting everybody on the spot. Each of these issues are want someone different to talk about their opinion. We have 5 team members. Issue number 1, please, I want Mark, if you can start with that and pull the conversation. Issue number 2, Jenny, if you can start with that and pull your conversation. Issue number 4, what am I doing? I'm setting a space so that everybody knows that they have their important and they can say something. Engagement, engagement, engagement. Number 4, sometimes we come with action items, but nobody follows them up simply because we are not assigning them, simply because we're not following up. When you do action item on the retrospective meeting, you need to make sure that at least top 1 or 2 of them, you write them at the top of your Spring backlog so that you come, by the time you start facilitating, when you open the meeting, you want to talk about that, remind people about that. Just talking about that, get the problem ready solved. And then my last tip is that engage after every event. Don't just wait until when there's an event and you show up. It's like, oh, my meetings are very free. No. As a Scrum Master, engage with your team member, find out about them, find out about what they like, right? Talk about their lunch, talk about their pet, talk about anything that interests them. That's how you win friends. Right, so those are my top tips. And actually, if you want a complete retrospective guideline, there's a book I'm working on that's coming up very soon. It's called My Scrum Body. I actually outline almost everything there. Watch out for that book. It's going to be out in less than a month, and I definitely let my follower be the first to read that book. It's an amazing 20-chapter book discussing everything you need to lead effectively as a Scrum Master. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. And then if you're actually going through any form of struggle, check the description, book that space. If you don't see a space and you really need it, send me a text or DM me and I'll make sure I get you one. All right, see you in my next video.